How do you manage negative emotions such as anger and anxiety? Listen to my 5-minute audio and find out.
Folks, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the negative emotions. And in this portion of the book that I'm going to start reading very shortly, he touches on these topics. But one of the things he says is you can never get the maximum or even a fair advantage of constructive action out of your mind until you've learned to control it and keep it from becoming stimulated through anger or fear. Not many people, well, actually a lot of people probably do, but relative to the whole world, not many people admit that they have an anger issue when they do. They're in denial. Not many people, especially men, will admit that they're afraid of something, right? Yet you have those challenges and are not controlling your mind. Those two negatives, just those two, anger and fear, he says, are positively destructive to your mind. And as long as you allow them to remain, you can be sure of results which are unsatisfactory and way below what you are capable of producing. You know, it's interesting. When I read that, I said, how does he know what I'm capable of producing? Right? I don't know if you guys have ever, thought about that. Have you ever talked to the author while you're reading? I guess I have. That might be weird, but even of recently, I'm working on controlling my anger because the first thing that it takes is a recognition that things you're getting angry about, you're overdoing it. Just the fact that you're reminded that anger is a negative emotion that will be positively destructive to your mind. Here's what happens when people talk about anger and their own anger. If they're angry, they are not in the right mindset to even accept or even keep their mind open to somebody that wants to help them with their anger. You cannot control someone else's anger. No matter how much you try, that person's going to say, well, yeah, whatever, leave me alone. And they'll deny it. And that's what anger does to you, that negative, destructive emotion. To recognize that you need to work on your anger issues and to openly and publicly admit it is not easy for anyone at all. But it's the first step toward gaining that control. I just keep referring people to a chapter written in The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. There's a chapter entitled Action Cures Fear.
How do you manage negative emotions such as anger and anxiety? You have a choice.
And taking the action that you're afraid to take, that could quite possibly be the action necessary that you either avoid because of fear or don't place yourself in a position where you need to take those actions. Guess what? The only way, and this is so true because I've tested it, the only way to kill your fear is to do what you're afraid of doing. That's the only way, right? There are other ways, but the quickest way, right there. Admitting that you're afraid of something and then conquering it by tackling it head on with action will help cure that fear. I like to use the analogy, hey, take your fear, put a big, huge piece of masking tape around its mouth, sit it in the back seat, point at it and say, now, you shut up because I'm busy. Now, all kinds of little visualizations can be used to control your negative emotions. So visualize things like that. Imagine it. Our imagination is very powerful. We can imagine virtually anything that we want to accomplish. And it's not just what we want to accomplish in terms of goals and dreams and ambitions and desires. It's more than that. Being able to accomplish the controlling of your own negative emotions to the point where you have it under full control. If you want that strongly enough, just like if you want your goals and dreams strongly enough, you will know the actions that you need to take because you'll now see them. Your desire and faith will help you to see that which you need to see to change the action you want to change because you're aware of it. We could go on and on and on about this, and I'm sure there are other leaders that could add their insights to this, but I caught those two paragraphs right kind of next to each other in what I'm going to read today, and I thought it was important to talk about that.
How do you manage negative emotions such as anger and anxiety? Do exactly what I suggested in this audio, and you can do it too.
And so with that said, folks, I hope everybody here goes and grows, and don't let anyone steal your dreams.